There's a rule of
referral
thumb
out,
which
you
I'm
get
sure you'll
25%
follow is
off.
get the signature when you can. If you had that sign, that doesn't happen.
Any other
So
questions?
I'll go through that.
Sally?
Sally's in with Keller Williams, and do y'all have a rule of thumb when you take a listing that once you negotiate your commission with? Either for that single transaction or if they are also buying another home with you? Because and the reason I'm saying this, I was just at a closing, and on the HUD one, the listing broker took 1%, and I just thought, I can't even say what I thought.
Well, I can tell you that the Division of Real Estate looks not very fondly on us talking about
I
our
was just
fee
gonna say
over
that.
service. What I can tell you though is I never offer rebates unless they ask. And I can tell you I would never take a listing where I was paid less than another broker was being paid.
Any other questions?
Do you follow that rule of thumb? If say they're just at the break-even point where they have to bring 15 grand to the table to sell, and you're selling them $1 million house.
What Oliver says?
No, do you follow a rule of thumb?
Not my problem. Listen, you know, with special circumstances call for special decision making. I'm not a discount broker. I'm a full service broker. And if they want to hire a discount broker, they can take it in another direction.
Yeah. I think what you said too, I think Sean said maybe is there's a certain amount of population just going to go the cheapest way. It doesn't matter. In our industry, the internet has caused that with cars or TVs or,
Sure.
you know, it doesn't matter if you buy a Sony from Walmart or Costco, it's a Sony, right? Which is the cheapest one to come in. There's a certain amount of population that just think that way.
My name is France Addington Lee. I'm a new agent with Keller Williams. Dale mentioned that the Zillow example of how you're using the website and new technology tools, but I haven't heard much from anybody else. How else have you used it? How has it changed your business?
Well, I know you've heard us talking about referrals. That's, we try to do business with people we love and trust and whatnot, but we also have Zillow. Kind of our thought process, it's good to have your eggs in a bunch of different baskets, don't put them all in one basket. So, yeah, we were on Zillow as well. For us, it's more of a credibility thing. We have not nearly as many reviews, but we have quite a few, and we will a lot of times direct people, and we pick up business with people finding us on Zillow. It just adds another layer of credibility, and you know, we pick up a handful of deals a year as well from Zillow, so it easily pays for itself. You just have to, you know, address the lead quickly in a timely manner, and yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we don't do a ton with technology and internet marketing, but we do Zillow.
I think just to add to that, we don't try to, you know, you can purchase Zillow zip codes. Obviously, people probably, I'm sure everybody's aware of that. That is one way to go. We try to buy the zip code only in our farm area. So if we're farming 80602 and someone's like, oh, I need to sell my house, well, the first thing they do is they go to Zillow to see what's out there, what they can buy. And so if they're looking at, you know, homes to upgrade in an 80602, they keep seeing Jason and Kathy Weaver, Jason and Kathy Weaver, Jason and Kathy Weaver, and then they get our farming, and then they go, oh, those are the people I keep seeing on Zillow. And so what's happening is we're farming that zip code by buying just in the zip code. We're not going to go buy a zip code in the tech center. We're going to buy the zip code where we're farming. And then we have the reviews on Zillow. So we've had a few listings where we've picked up and they're like, well, we get your farming, we saw you're on Zillow, we read your reviews on Zillow. So as more for us, Zillow's not to pick up buyers, it's to add credibility to the farm because we're trying to focus more on listings as opposed to buyers.
One new thing, and you guys may be aware of this, but regarding Zillow, there's the whole make me move thing. So for new agents, if you see somebody who's in your area or the area that you're targeting and it's a make me move, it's like somebody waving a flag and saying, come talk to me about selling my house. So that's just an idea.
I think it's incredibly important to have a good contact management program.
What do you use?
I use Top Producer. Top Producer it's like having this massive mega computer capable of overturning third world countries, and all you're trying to do is brew coffee. You have to figure out what 2 or 3 or 4 functions of top producer you want to use and then go with it. I've run Brian Buffini's model for years, and basically I have about 650 names in my database, but for my business model and the production I'm doing, I only care about 200 people. I have 100 people on my A list, I have 100 people on my B list. My 100 A's get something in the mail every month, they get a phone call once a quarter, I do 2 events a year. But it's systematized. And again, you can't just wait for things to happen in this business. You have to take yourself into the marketplace. And you have to get organized, you have to get everybody you know into a cohesive database and then have a plan for communicating with those people. And again, everybody's model is different. My model is different from Sean's, obviously. My goal is to attract business by creating value for people. And if I'm looking to do 30 to 35 deals a year, which is my number, I know how many touches I need to make, and it's all fairly cool and under control. If I wanted to put a model together for 100 transactions a year, then I would change and I would expand my numbers and all that other stuff. But you need a good database management program. You have to have some kind of cohesive plan.
What else? Any other questions? There's one right here.
Hi, Corey Fitzsimmons, Keller Williams Advantage. You said the CRS designation. Why not like the GRI? And do you really think the public paid attention to all these acronyms in our business?
No, they don't.
90% of them are irrelevant. The GRS, or the CRS is the gold standard. 4% of agents nationally have it. Last year, that 4% did more than 25% of all transactions in the U.S. It has the highest education.
Staff-based.
It's hard to get. And when you have it, you want to let people know, because there is a literal alphabet soup. A literal alphabet soup of designations out there, and I think 80% of them don't mean a whole lot to anybody. And on the 3rd page of my listing presentation and my buyer presentation, after a resume and introduction letter, I go straight into CRS because it is credibility. So.
And why not the GRI? GRI is a good program for a new agent. Actually, it's a very intensive program that gets you really jump-started in the business. I wouldn't want to dissuade you from the GRI designation. I think if you're more of a rookie in the business, it'd be a good program for you to go through. But if you've been in the business 5 years or more, the GRI is going to seem relatively irrelevant to you. So if you're a newer agent, I would encourage the GRI. Being a credit buyer representative and ABR designation is an easy designation to get. CRS is an intensive designation to get. So you're going to have to be doing some volume to even sit for the designation.
And you still go to the classes even without.
Sure, yeah,
It's worth it.
you can finish the courses until you actually qualify for the designation, which the courses are excellent, honestly. And the reality is that having professional designations just gives you some credibility, some leverage. And so I have a sheet in my packet here that says all real estate people are not created equally when considering an agent, consider the following. And I talked to them about how annually I qualify for the Chairman's Club Award with the RE/MAX organization. There's 90,000 RE/MAX associates in 90 countries, and annually we qualify for the top 3% of those agents. That we are ABR, CRS, GRI, MRE, CM, HLS, like all these professional designations. And then I tell them, you don't give a care about my alphabet soup. What you care about is that when I hand my business card to another real estate professional, they know that you've hired the best in the business.
Any other questions? Well, thank you guys so much for coming out today. It shows that you're dedicated to your business, that you're here. And thank you, panelists, members. And if you have not dropped your card in the basket for the drawing, please do so before you leave. Thank you.